Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a ranking video. This is a video ranking my last 10 palettes that have come into my collection that I've actually used or have some sort of opinion about. I know Baddie Bean always does these videos. I'm not sure if she's the one who created it, but she's the one that obviously inspired me to do this. And I watch her videos all the time when she ranks her last 10 palettes. And I thought I would start doing this. I don't get as nearly as many palettes as she does, so these videos will be rarer for me to do. But I figured, you know, every, I don't know, maybe quarter, I might end up doing it, or maybe once or twice a year, because I do not want to get, I don't know, 40 palettes a year. I think that would be crazy. But anyway, let's get into it because I have some palettes that are new in my collection and I've ranked them for you. Alright, so there's a little bit of an FYI. I have two new palettes, one of which I've tried, one I haven't. So the one I haven't, I am not ranking it today, it's just far too new. I also have two palettes in this ranking that I have technically not actually tried, but I'll explain why I'm ranking them. I think it makes a little bit of sense when I explain it to you. So that's just a little FYI, but let's get into it. So the first one is this Juvia's Place, the Mince Rebel. I really didn't need this palette and that's why I'm ranking it so low. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the quality. The shimmers are actually really beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with the mattes either, but it is a little quad. It's all mint, and so there's not that much variety. It's more of a companion palette, and for me, I should know my lesson by now. I should understand what I need, and I do not need little companion palettes like this in my collection. They're just not worth my investment, to be honest. But I have it, and yeah, I had to look back at all the palettes I had purchased, like the last 10, and this one goes back to September, so that kind of gives you an indicator this video is not going to be around that much. But you know, I'll wait until I get 10 new palettes and then I'll do it again. But yeah, that one is ranked number 10, not really because of quality or anything like that. I just like the palette itself is just not suitable for me. The next one actually upsets me, but I kind of have to be honest with myself. I tried this only once and I haven't really wanted to try it since. And it is the NARS Holiday one. This is the Stargaze palette. I think ultimately I was just disappointed in this palette. I really wanted it, but I just don't. I don't know, I don't think it's the same quality as my Afterglow palette from NARS. I don't know why. I do need to go in, I do need to use all of the shades. I do need to give it more time and more love, but for me, it just did not wow me straight away, which the Afterglow did. And I just feel like the formula in this one is a little bit stiffer, especially in the shimmers. They're just a little bit more dry and stiff, as opposed to what I have experienced with NARS. So I didn't actually think this was all that great with my first impressions, but it was the first impressions. Hopefully I do change my mind, but I had to rank it here. Okay, next one is from Colourpop. It is the Aurora Struck. So this one also hurt my feelings. I was really excited to get this, and I just thought it was going to be absolutely stunning, and honestly it is stunning. I have not used all of the shades. There are so many shades in here. I haven't even scratched the surface yet, but like the NARS palette, the first look that I did with this, I was just not impressed, and it hasn't made me want to go back in and try more shades. And that's the issue. I think the color story is gorgeous. I mean, that's why I got it. It's these beautiful cool tones and all of these shimmers look absolutely stunning. But I was so disappointed in some of the shimmers that I tried. I tried this one down here. I think maybe this one up here. And I just felt like they were very dry. They weren't that good formula that you get from Colourpop. I think this is the bad formula that you get, which unfortunately is not what I want. So I do need to do a No Pan Left Behind with this. I do need to actually use all of the shades and figure out if I really feel this way, but just, you know, as an instinct, I do have to rank it here. I'm ranking it a little bit higher than NARS because there are a lot of shades here, and maybe potentially there's more potential with this palette because I haven't used all the shades, so I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a leeway there as number 8. But honestly, they could have ranked the same because I just felt the same way. I was just very excited to have the palette, and then I was very disappointed when I actually used it. All right, let's talk about these 3. I'm kind of ranking them all together because I have the big Earthly palette, and I also have the big Midnight. So these are the little minis that you get from Beauty Bay. This is the only berries one that I have. But to be frank, I haven't used these 2 because I've used the big ones, and they share the same shades as the big ones. So there's nothing wrong with these 2, and I think the color stories are really pretty, but I'm not going to be ranking them any higher just because they're Beauty Bay. I just think, you know, yeah, I'm just going to rank them kind of around here. It's no biggie. I haven't even touched them because I've touched the bigger ones. So I felt like, well, if I don't rank them, you know, technically I can't get to like my 10 palettes. I wanted to have 10 palettes to rank. So I added them in to rank sort of middle of the road. And then this berries one, again, I haven't really tried. I've only worked on one shade in this palette, but the palette itself actually looks really beautiful. And I know Beauty Bay quality is really good. So I also wanted to rank this here. And I feel like I'm ranking this one just a tinge above these 2, just simply because they're kind of duplicates in my collection, if that makes sense. So it'll be the mini Midnight, then the mini Earthly, and then the berries, number 7, 6, and 5. Okay, and then coming in at number 4 is another ColourPop. I did pick up the Hocus Pocus 2 back in autumn. So this is a recent palette of mine in terms of, you know, all of the recent palettes that I've purchased, and I really like this palette. I really think the color story is a lot of fun, and I did a 3 looks 1 palette. I felt like it was very cohesive. It's really easy to figure out what kind of look you want to do because of the layout of the palette. I also think the quality is decent. It's not my favorite quality from ColourPop, but it's not like that other palette that I just showed you. These are actually really beautiful, and I just thought it was smart. I thought the whole collection was actually really nice, and I really love the lime green, and it's perfect for Halloween, right? But also I do feel like these shades can translate to other times of the year, in particular spring, and more vibrant times when you want a pop of color. So I actually really like this palette, so I am going to be ranking it as number 4. Right, and then we have the big Midnight palette from Beauty Bay, and this one I really do like, but I haven't used it nearly enough, so I can't really rank it any higher, but I do think it's beautiful, and I kind of have all of the cool tone blues and purples in here that I would want, right? So I really don't need to buy another cool tone purple palette because I have a lot here, and I love Beauty Bay, and some of these shimmers that I've tried are really gorgeous, and I do want to dip into this more. But honestly, I would have thought that having a big palette like this, which is quite monochromatic, would scare me off, and it really hasn't. So I don't know. The only reason I'm not going into this is because we're into spring, and you know, this is more of a winter palette for me. However, some of these pops of blue obviously you can wear during the spring, so I do want to be dipping into this more and doing a no pan left behind at some point, but I do need to rank it here. I just can't fault the formula. And then followed behind, we have the Earthly palette from Beauty Bay. This one I've ranked higher because I've been using this a lot more. I'm actually using it in my Shop My Stash. So I am getting through all of the shades. I'm doing a no pan left behind. It doesn't really look like I've used it, but I have. I haven't used all the shades yet, but I've used about half of the shades so far. And honestly, I haven't found a dud shade yet, so I think all of these are absolutely stunning. I love the earthy greens and sort of the grungy tones of it too, but you also have some really pretty greens, like lighter greens. So I really like this palette, and I never got the Wilderness palette, and that this was really reminiscent of the Wilderness palette from Beauty Bay, so I thought, you know, it's something in my collection that I don't have, and this also gives me all of the greens that I could possibly need, I would think. But yeah, I really like this palette so far, and I needed to rank it as number 2. Alright, coming into my collection as number 1 is one of my newest palettes. I just got this, I think, a week ago, and it is from Menagerie. It is the Killer Purr. So this one I actually have on my eyes today. I have used it twice, which is not a lot, but it's absolutely stunning. I'm blown away. I'm currently trying to film I was going to do a 3 looks 1 palette with it, but I think I'm going to end up doing 4 looks with it because I can see a couple more looks. I've already done 2 looks now, and this is just absolutely stunning. These shimmers are so soft. They're so soft and they're so gorgeous. Like this one is so beautiful. Unreal. I used this in my first look and I was like, wow, I made a really good choice in buying from Menagerie. I was humming and ahhing and I was so happy when they restocked because I was like, I'm finally gonna do it. And yeah, I actually have this shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade on my eyes today. It's not my favorite look that I've done, but I'm playing around with it. I definitely want to dip into I've actually dipped into this shade, but I want to do a bluey shade next, and then also a yellow with the brown, and then this shade down here, like a more grungy one. So those are the other 2 looks that I think I'm going to be doing. But yeah, it is absolutely stunning, and I had to rank it as number 1 because I think the quality and the formula is so beautiful, and I think the color story is a lot of fun, especially for this time of year. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I did pick up the Feral, but I have not yet tried it, so I'm not going to be ranking it because I'm just going to wait until my next ranking video. But this is what it looks like. I think a lot of people have this, and I'm so excited to try this one as well. You have these gorgeous purpley pinks over here, and then you also have your greens again. Quite a similar color story, but I'm hoping that I can come up with some different looks. And yeah, I'm really excited about this one as well, but not ranking it today. So that's my video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Bye!